The mad dash through the snow in a desperate race against time, and with enemies right on their heels, two warriors are carrying with them the fate of a nation. Nearly 100 years had gone by since the outbreak of the Norwegian Civil War, one of the longest and bloodiest in history. This painting captures the moment of heightened suspense that was the mad dash across the windswept mountain in the dead of winter to rescue the only remaining son of the late king. A moment when the fate of the whole nation's history rested on the shoulders of just two men and their ability to ski faster than their enemies to get the boy to safety in friendly territory. To fully understand the true impact of this work of art, we need to understand the environment in which it was created. In 1869, Knud Bergslien painted the now iconic Birkebeinere. The title roughly translates to birch feet and is the name given to one of the sides in the Norwegian Civil War during the 12th and 13th century. You see, at the time of this painting's completion in 1869, a wave of Romanticism was sweeping across Europe, an artistic movement that created countless masterpieces in the visual arts. Norway had for centuries been in the so-called 400 Years' Night, a name given to the 400 years it was under Denmark as a vassal kingdom. And now that the wave of Romanticism hit Norway's shores, it became the now iconic period of national Romanticism. Artists in every corner across the kingdom began to build from scratch a new national identity, and one point of interest was that of the early medieval and late Viking Age, the last time Norway had been an independent kingdom. It is with this perfect alignment in historical events that gives us a plethora of works of absolute beauty. The Battle of Stamford Bridge, The Wild Hunt of Odin, Gizur Challenges the Huns, and many other. Before we examine the main image, let's get some context on the historical situation of the motif. The Kingdom of Norway had for over 70 years fought a hard and bloody civil war since 1130 AD. Although the intricacies are a bit beyond the scope of this video, the main point is that at this moment the kingdom was divided between north and south. But in 1204, the king died, leaving only one son, and he was at the time in the far south of the country. And so, he had to be smuggled out of enemy territory, resulting in the two best skiers at hand being given the child to ski over the mountain passing from one valley to another. A moment of high tension in the story of the medieval Civil War. In the end, they were able to get the child back home to safety of the north, and he eventually took the title as king. Why did this motif and this exact moment in time become such an iconic representation of the Norwegian spirit? It is tempting to think of this work simply as a historical depiction of a significant event in Norway's distant past. However, why this exact moment? Throughout the long history of the Kingdom of Norway, there would have been countless grand battles and events of heroism to draw from. Rather, I believe that this represents on a larger scale the Norwegian mind in the mid-1800s. The small child prince represents the idea of Norway itself, small and in need of caring if it is to be grown into a proper king or kingdom. The two warriors represent perhaps the people at large, willing to champion this cause. Look at their expression, steadfast and with one purpose in mind, to bring this child to safety so it can one day become a king. Furthermore, I do not think it is a coincidence that historically it was this king, Håkon IV, that would lead Norway to its greatest extent. To further cement this point, take note of the eyes of the young prince. He's breaking the fourth wall and looking directly at us, the viewer, giving the impression that he is looking through the painting and straight at us, saying, "Would you have done the same? Are you willing to champion the cause of independence?" The warrior carrying the symbol of nationhood in one hand has in the other an axe, a symbol used by the Norwegian royal family since the 1100s. He is figuratively shielding the idea of nationhood with his shield and wielding the royal symbol in the other hand to defend it. This level of detail is what makes this work of art such an iconic piece, and undoubtedly one of the finest artworks created by Norwegian hands. Today, this painting is a work most Norwegians are familiar with and can accurately tell you, more or less, the story behind it, having been cemented in the national consciousness. In that aspect, the painter was successful in creating a feeling of national awareness through the mastery of color and subtle symbolism. The daring escape has become, in modern times, one of the most famous events from the Civil War and Norwegian history. So much so that the route has become a tradition to ski every year, and an official race is held every winter. The length is about 54 kilometers or 33.5 miles. One rule stipulates that a small weight must be carried to simulate the child that was carried over the mountain 800 years ago. Right now, we have this motif available on our store. Feel free to check it out through our link in the description, or check out the other motifs we have designed for our website. Did we do a good job in our analysis? If so, like the video, subscribe or check out our other work on the channel available here. Lastly, I would like to thank you for watching.